Speaking with Confidence with Ale.
Hello and welcome back to Speaking with Confidence here on Vaughan Radio. I'm Ale and this is our hour to practice English with confidence. And how do we do that? Well, we build the language little by little. We'll start off with a little bit about life and then we learn the words we need. We look at the grammar and then we practice until it feels natural. Today, let's start with a very simple idea. Order. Why? Because order is important for human beings, as you know it. It's important for you, important for me, important for all of us. We may not always think about it, but our lives are full of little patterns. Every morning, we wake up and we do more or less the same things, usually in the same order. And of course, there are variations. Maybe one day you have a toast with tomato and another day you have a toast with butter. Maybe you have children to get ready or maybe you don't. Maybe you go to work or university or English class or another kind of class. But there is usually a pattern. We get up, we get ready, we leave the house, we go somewhere, we meet someone, we do something. Even the way we plan to see our friends usually follows an order. First we choose the day, then the place, then the time, and then we send the message. Stop for a moment and think about it. Isn't this true? And why do we do this? Not only because we are structured this way, but because order helps us feel in control or calmer. It helps us also understand what is happening and what comes next. It gives us a sense of structure. So when there is order, life feels easier to follow. And in English, well, it works in a similar way. The language works in a similar way. It also needs order. Not because it wants to make our lives difficult, but because word order helps the listener understand a message quickly. So in English, we usually keep the verb and the object together. And we say, I bought a ticket, not I bought ticket yesterday or I bought yesterday a ticket. Then this is how it usually works. So that's what we're going to be practicing today. We're going to use this structure, what happened, what or who received the action, where it happened, and when it happened. All right? So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to work on word order. And so get ready and let's begin our lesson. Useful words. So in that sense, before we look at the grammar, let's prepare some useful words. Today's words are connected to everyday order, the things we do, the places we go, the plans we make, and the things that happen during the day. Because when we tell our story in English, we first need the right words, right? Yes. But we also need to put them in the right order. So let's begin today with our very first word. And guess what this word is? Order. Order. And order is a noun. And what does it mean? It's the way things are organized or placed. And this in Spanish is orden. How can we use it? A little order can make a busy morning feel calmer. A little order can make a busy morning feel calmer. All right. Next word today is step. Step. And this is also a noun. And a step is, in this context, one action in a process. One action in a process. And the meaning in Spanish is paso. All right. The first step is often the hardest part. The first step is often the hardest part. Next word today is priority. Priority. And what is this? This is also a noun. And a priority is something that is more important than other things. Something that is more important than other things. In Spanish, this is prioridad. How do we use it? Rest can be a priority after a very long week. Rest can be a priority after a very long week. All right. Next word today is slot. Slot. And let me spell this for you. S-L-O-T. And this is also a noun. And a slot is a free space of time for an activity. A free space of time for an activity. Una franja de tiempo, franja horaria, un hueco. How do we use it? There is a small slot before lunch. There's a small slot before lunch. All right. Next word is another noun, and this is turn. Turn. And what is a turn? It's the moment when it's your time to do something. A moment when is your time to do something. So this in Spanish is turno. How do we use it? It's your turn to choose the place today. It's your turn to choose the place today. Very good. So far we've got order, step, priority, slot, turn, and our next word is follow. And this is a verb. And to follow is to do things in today's context, in the same order or according to plan. To do things in the same order or according to plan. So follow is in Spanish seguir. Seguir. Some people follow the same morning pattern every day. Some people follow the same morning pattern every day. What is your morning pattern? All right, next word and the last one, almost, is prepare. Prepare. And this is also a verb. And to prepare is to get something ready before it's needed. To get something ready before it's needed. So prepare in Spanish is preparar. She likes to prepare her bag the night before her trip. She likes to prepare her bag the night before the trip. Very good. And our last word today is happen. Happen. And this is also a verb, and it means to take place or to occur. When something takes place or it occurs. In Spanish, pasar or ocurrir. So for example, we can say small changes happen even in a normal routine. Small changes happen even in a normal routine. So let's go through the list again, the list of words. And this is how they sound. Order. Step. You can say these words out loud. Priority. Slot. Turn. Follow. Prepare. And happen. All right, so your time to translate. Preparar. Prepare. Very good. Turno. Turn. Prioridad. Priority. Orden. order. Very good. Paso, step. Hueco, franja. Slot. Seguir. Follow. Turno. Turn. What am I missing? Preparar. Prepare. And ocurrir o pasar. Happen. Very good. All right. Now that we've got the words, let's practice with them. All right. Remember the words: order, step, priority, slot, turn, follow, prepare, and happen. So I'll say the definition and you have to choose which of these words I'm talking about. Listen to the definitions. A free space of time when you can do something. A free space of time when you can do something. What is that? What do we call that? Slot. So free space of time. That is time slot. All right? A time slot. Next word, next definition. To get something ready before you need it. To get something ready before you need it. And this is prepare. To prepare is to get something ready before you need it. How about this one? Listen carefully. To take place or occur. To take place or occur. And this is happen. Happen, to happen. Very good. How about one part of a process or action? One part of a process or action. And this is step. It's a step is one part of a process. Very good. Next one. The moment when you can do something after another person. The moment when you can do something after another person. All right. And what is this? Turn. Very good. Turn. All right. And how about the way things are organized? The way things are organized. Order. Very good. Order. Something that is more important than other things. Something that's more important than other things. And what is that? What are we talking about? We're talking about a priority. Something that is more important than other things. Very good. And to get something, we already said that. To get something ready, and that's it. We've worked all our words. Now, what we're going to be doing next is you have to choose the best option to complete my sentence. All right? So we're going to go from definition to putting these words in context. So listen carefully. I only have a short between my meeting and my English class. I only have a short between my meeting and my English class. So is it turn, slot, or step? I only have a short slot between my meeting and my English class. Very good. All right, next one. Before a trip, I always, my documents, my charger, and then my clothes. Before a trip, I always prepare, happen, or follow my documents, my charger, and my phone. So what do you do before you travel? Well, this person says they prepare. They always prepare their documents, their charger, and their clothes. Very good. All right, next one. When everything feels urgent, it is important to choose one clear. So when everything feels urgent, it is important to choose one clear, and we have order, turn, or priority. It is important to choose one clear priority. Very good. All right. Let's keep on working. If you don't, the instructions, the exercise becomes more difficult. So if you don't what? Happen, prepare, or follow. If you don't, the instructions, the exercise becomes more difficult. So is it follow or prepare or happen? The right answer is follow. If you don't follow the instructions, the exercise becomes too difficult or more difficult. Very good. Follow. All right. And let's do a couple more. The next is to check the address carefully. The next is to check the address carefully. And your options are order, step, and priority. So I'll say that again. Order, step, and priority. The next is to check the address carefully. So the next step is to check the address carefully. Very, very good. Okay, so let's move on to building sentences. So what are we going to do? I'll give you a few words or a few phrases, a few elements to build a sentence. All right? And so try to practice the order here, because I'll be giving you words that are not following a specific order. But it's really easy. So listen. First one. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. 4 parts. Listen to this. Need, order, more in my week. Need, order, more in my week. So what would you say? My sentence is, I need more order in my week. I need more order in my week. All right, very good. That's what I want you to do. Let's move on to the next one. Listen to this. Prepare before the meeting, the documents, and we. I'll say that again. Prepared before the meeting, the documents, and that's it. So my sentence is, I prepared the documents before the meeting. I prepared the documents before the meeting. All right, your turn now. Listen to this. Your, it, now, and turn. Your, it, noun, and turn. What would you say? It's or it is your turn. It is your turn now. We were missing one word. It is your turn now. All right, let's do one more. Listen to this. Carefully followed they and the recipe. Carefully followed they the recipe. And this is really simple. They followed the recipe carefully. They followed the recipe carefully. How about this one? Happened something funny during class. So, what did you say? What do you say? What's the right answer? Happened something funny during the class. Something funny happened during the class. All right, very good. Okay, so now we're going to move on to a different kind of exercise. And what you're going to be doing is answer these questions. Well, you can answer these questions out loud or for yourself, silently, or in your head, in your mind. So the important thing is that you try to answer these questions. So listen to this. Do you like to have order in your day? Do you like to have order in your day, or do you prefer flexibility? What's your answer? Well, this week we've been talking about how to describe our days and our experiences and situations, right? And, well, some people can be defined as very structured, if we're looking for an adjective. And some people don't need that kind of structure. And we've also said that we don't need extremes to describe our lives. So we could maybe meet in the middle ground, right? So my answer for this one would be, I think I prefer to be flexible. I prefer flexibility. I do need structure, but I think I can be flexible. How about you? So here's another question. What is one step you always take before leaving the house? What is one step you always take before leaving the house? So what is it? What is this one step that you always take? Before you get out of the house, before you go to work, what do you do? The last thing I do is when they're here, I say goodbye to my children, to my daughters. That's the last thing I do. And if they're not, because when they left before me, I say goodbye to my dog. That's the last step I take before leaving the house. What's yours? All right. Another question. What is your biggest priority this week? What is your biggest priority this week? What is it? Let me think. What is my biggest priority this week? I think it's just finishing some pending work. Yes, I believe that is my biggest priority this week. I have to finish something that I've been delaying. All right. One more. No, let's continue. I think this is fun to do. You can practice a little bit with our useful words, but using your own resources. So listen, do you prepare things in advance, or do you usually do things at the last minute? So what kind of person are you? What type of person are you? Do you prepare things in advance, or do you usually do things at the last minute? How do you describe yourself? What do you do? In my case, I have to say I sometimes prepare things in advance. I sometimes do. When it's a trip, of course I have to. I do that. But for other things, some things I usually do at the last minute. And I know that's not the best way to do things, but that's just how it happens. How about you? I know some people always prepare things in advance and they never leave anything for the last minute. And I also know people who do everything at the last minute, who leave everything at the last minute. What do you do? What's your situation? How do you describe yourself? All right. One more question. What do you do when something unexpected happens? What do you do when something unexpected happens? All right, I'm going to leave you with that question. And now, before we continue, we are going to take a short break. But don't go too far, because when we come back, we'll connect today's idea of order with something that we do, the way our brain uses routines to make life easier, right? So stay with me. This is Speaking with Confidence, and here on Vaughan Radio, we will be right back.
Lo que oyes.
You're listening to the right radio. You're listening to Vaughan Radio. You're listening to Vaughan Radio.
Estas vacaciones, haz un viaje para tu inglés. Con los cursos intensivos semanales de Vaughan, mejora tu inglés durante cualquier periodo vacacional. Navidad, Semana Santa, verano, tú decides cuándo. Una semana para mejorar tu fluidez. Gana confianza al hablar. Aprovecha tu tiempo libre al máximo. Y lo mejor es que puedes reservar tu curso desde ya para asegurarte tu plaza en el momento que prefieras. No dejes pasar la oportunidad de avanzar en tu inglés estas vacaciones. Entra en grupovaughan.com/intensivos y contrata tu semana intensiva hoy mismo, porque tu inglés también merece unas vacaciones.
Mommy, Daddy, these summer English books are so much fun.
¿Quieres que este verano tus hijos repasen inglés de forma divertida? Tenemos justo lo que necesitas. Llega Summer English. Listen, practice, learn. La nueva colección de cuadernos de Vaughan para niños de primero a sexto de primaria. Con juegos, gramática, vocabulario, audios y actividades online. Todo al más puro estilo Vaughan. Ya disponibles en vaughantienda.com y librerías seleccionadas. Este verano, aprender inglés será su plan favorito.
¿Quieres mejorar tu inglés sin complicaciones? Vaughan Inglés 4.0 es el curso de inglés más completo en formato audio, con casi 600 clases desde cero hasta nivel avanzado. Paso a paso, donde y cuando quieras. Claro, práctico y eficaz. Gramática, vocabulario, pronunciación y sobre todo, resultados. Busca nuestro podcast Vaughan Inglés 4.0 en iVoox.
Este verano, ¿quieres que tus hijos se diviertan, vivan 1000 aventuras y además ganen fluidez en inglés, rodeados de naturaleza y con los mejores monitores angloparlantes Vaughan? Tráelos a nuestro Vaughan Summer Camps, con cabañas, actividades acuáticas, multiaventura, nuevos amigos y entornos increíbles donde aprenderán a resolver situaciones cotidianas en inglés sin darse cuenta. Más de 3.000 niños viven nuestras inversiones cada año. Encuentra tu mejor Summer Camp sin salir de España. Contrata tu mejor camp.
Come to learn with us at Vaughan.
¿Te apuntas?
En Vaughan hay un antes y un después. El antes es inseguridad, titubeo, fastidio. El después es confianza, convicción y arrojo. Y esto en solo 6 días.
El mayor ambiente lingüístico jamás creado, con la mayor variedad de acentos nativos nunca antes reunidos. Vaughan Town, el pueblo anglo de Vaughan. Vaughan Town. Rechaza imitaciones. Infórmate en el 911335833.
Vaughan Town. Cambia tu inglés ya.
Encuentra todos los libros de nuestros presentadores de radio en las tiendas Vaughan. Nosotros te ayudamos a encontrar el libro perfecto para ti, para todos los niveles y edades. También encontrarás libros de alemán, francés y mucho más. Estamos en calle Orense 75, en Madrid, o en nuestras 6 delegaciones por España. Ven a vernos o visita vaughantienda.com. Vaughan, Learn English.
Escúchanos en cualquier momento y en cualquier lugar. Descarga la app de Vaughan Radio.
You are listening to
Everyday.
Listen to Vaughan Radio.
You're listening to Vaughan Radio.
Tune in every day.
Vaughan Radio.
Speaking with Confidence with Ale.
Welcome back to Speaking with Confidence. I'm Ale, and today we're talking about order. Order in life, order in our routines, and order in English sentences. And here's a small fact that you already know because we've talked about this before. We've talked about how our brain likes patterns. A nuestro cerebro le gustan los patrones. When we repeat small actions in the same order, our brain doesn't have to work so hard. It saves energy. That's why many people do the same things every morning without even thinking too much, right? You probably do this. At least with things like this. Con tareas como estas no necesitamos más que una especie de memoria. Y es lo que llamamos el piloto automático, because we do these things the same way, exactly the same way as we did before and the day before that. So you get up, you check your time maybe, or you look at your phone, you brush your teeth, then you go get a shower, you take a shower, you get dressed, then you prepare something to eat, right? You make yourself some breakfast, or you get breakfast outside. Right? Or you leave the house. Of course, not every day is the same. As I said before, there are some variations depending on who you are and where you are, right? But things happen, plans change. And the thing is that it's just how it is. El orden nos ayuda a entender qué viene antes, qué viene después, lo que te decía al principio, nos da una estructura y una noción al saber que sabemos lo que hacemos a continuación, nos da esta tranquilidad porque sabemos, nos podemos anticipar a lo que va a suceder. Entonces el orden en nuestras vidas es importante. And language works in a similar way. When words follow a clear order, we understand the message easily, right? The brain doesn't have to stop and ask, wait, who, what, when, where? It's already following a pattern that it's familiar to you because of this word order that you will now understand how to use. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing in our grammar. We're not just going to be learning word order just because it's a grammar rule, but because it helps us feel that communication can be smoother, can be clearer. All right, so let's move on to our grammar section today. So, as I said, in English, word order is very important because English is not as flexible as Spanish. En castellano, en español, podemos alterar un poco el orden de las palabras, pero en inglés no, right? In English, we usually need a clear and fixed order. So this is what we're going to work on. Subject, verb, and object. For example, she, subject, checked, the verb, her phone, object. She checked her phone, subject, verb, object. Ese es el orden básico. All right. So the object is the thing or the person that receives the action. Okay. So she checked what? Her phone. That's what received the action. Her phone. All right. Another example. They opened the window. They opened what? The window. So the first important rule is this. Esa es la primera regla importante. Keep the verb and the object together. In English, we don't usually separate the verb and the object. We say, I finished my homework late. No decimos, I finished late my homework. Right? In Spanish, you can say, yo terminé tarde la tarea. But in English, the order of the words change. We keep the object and the verb together, or the verb and the object together. So, another example. He sent the message this morning. He sent the message this morning. Not, he sent this morning the message. All right? So this is very important because in Spanish we can say things, as I said, in a more flexible order. But remember this rule. In English, the verb and the object usually stay together. All right? In Spanish, we can say, terminé los deberes tarde. Terminé los deberes tarde. In English, I finished my work or my homework late. Not, I finished late my homework. Porque en español también podemos decir, terminé tarde los deberes. Right? All right. So that's number one rule. Rule number two, or point number two, is that after the object, we usually add the place. But when do we add the place? After the object. So the normal order is subject, verb, object, and then place. For example, she read the article on the train. She read the article. Hasta ahí sería nuestra primera estructura, nuestra primera parte de la estructura. Subject, verb, object, right? But now we're adding one more element. We're adding place. Añadimos lugar. She read the article on the train. She read what? The article. Where? On the train. Let's try with another example. We left our coats in the classroom. We left our coats in the classroom. First part of the structure, subject, we, verb, left. Our coats is the object, right? Coats. Now we added a place, in the classroom. We left our coats in the classroom. We left what? Our coats. That's what is receiving the action. What did we leave? We left what? Our coats. Where? In the classroom. All right? Okay, so remember, the object comes first and then the place usually comes after. All right, and there's one more thing to know. Time usually comes after place. So we are adding one more element, and that is time. So now we have subject, verb, object, place, and now time. All right? So we have both place and time together. So for example, listen to this. I saw a beautiful painting in the museum on Saturday. So first part of our structure, subject, verb, object. I saw a beautiful painting, right? Where? In the museum. When? On Saturday. So I saw a beautiful painting in the museum on Saturday. What did I see? A beautiful painting. Where? In the museum. When? On Saturday. Another example. They played cards at their grandparents' house after lunch. They played cards at their grandparents' house after lunch. What did they play? Cards, because cards is receiving the action, right? What did they play? Cards. Where? At their grandparents' house. When? After lunch. So remember, place before time. ¿Dónde? Antes de cuándo, ¿ok? El lugar va antes que el tiempo, que el momento, que el tiempo. Also, though, that's one way to structure our sentence, but time can also go at the beginning. Sometimes we put the time at the beginning of the sentence, which is also correct. How does that sound? It sounds like this. On Saturday, ahí estamos poniendo el tiempo. All right. I saw a beautiful painting in the museum. Y todo lo demás se mantiene igual. Lo que hemos movido ha sido el tiempo, la referencia temporal. On Saturday, I saw a beautiful painting in the museum. Or, after lunch, they play cards at their grandparents' house. El resto de la información se mantiene de la misma forma. Lo único que hemos cambiado ha sido el tiempo. So this is useful when the time is important, or when we want to connect the sentence to a story. But you have to be careful, because when time goes at the beginning, even when time goes at the beginning, we still keep the verb and the object together. Siempre van juntos el verbo y el objeto. Siempre van juntos. Empiece como empiece nuestra oración. Si empieza con esta referencia de tiempo, o si no empieza con ella, lo que sí se mantiene siempre igual es el verbo y el objeto que van juntos. All right? So this is a correct sentence. Yesterday she cleaned the balcony. Not, yesterday, she cleaned carefully the balcony. All right? So, let's keep it simple. We can use time, subject, verb, object, place. Or subject, verb, object, place, and time. Okay? Both ways work. All right. Another thing to consider, and this is very important, some verbs do not have an object. Not every verb needs an object. What do I mean by that? Listen to this. We arrived at the hotel at midnight. So here, arrived doesn't need an object. We don't arrive something. We simply arrive. So in this case, we arrived at the hotel at midnight. The structure is subject, verb, place, and time. No hay objeto. Nos saltamos el objeto. Subject, verb, place, and time. Another example, listen to this. The children slept in the car during the journey. The children slept in the car during the journey. The verb slept has no object. Has no object. No hay nada a quien recaiga, en quien recaiga esta acción. The verb slept. All right. So after slept, we add place and time. So with no object, we can say subject, verb, place, and time. All right. The children slept in the car during the journey. Okay, so let's compare. An incorrect sentence is, I drank in the kitchen a glass of water. I drank in the kitchen a glass of water. Is that correct? No, it's not. What is the correct way? I drank a glass of water in the kitchen. I drank a glass of water in the kitchen. Let's do another pair. She watched last night a documentary. She watched last night a documentary. Is this right? No, it's not. What would be the right or correct way, the correct order? She watched. What did she watch? A documentary. When? Last night. She watched a documentary last night. All right. One last example. We visited in July our cousins. We visited in July our cousins. Is this correct? No, it's not. What's the correct order? We visited our cousins in July. Who did we visit? Our cousins. When? In July. All right? Keep the verb and the object together when there is an object. And then you add the extra information following that order. All right? Place and time, if you haven't used time at the beginning of your sentence. So for today's main structure, structure is subject, verb, object, place, and time. My brother lost his keys at the gym on Monday. Place and time. All right? Subject, verb, object, place, and time. All right. Very good. Now that we've got those points clear, let's put this grammar in action. All right, let's practice today's word order. So one more time, the main structure today is subject, verb, object, place, and time. So like that. Subject, verb, object, place, and time. So remember the golden rule here. Do not separate the verb from the object. All right? So now we're also going to be using our usual words: order, priority, step, slot, turn, follow, prepare, and happen. And what are we going to do? We're going to begin with a little bit of translations. Listen carefully. Preparé mi bolso en mi habitación anoche. Preparé mi bolso en mi habitación anoche. You ready? I prepared, because this is in the past, right? Preparé. I prepared my bag in my bedroom last night. Are we following the pattern? Yes, we are. It is subject, verb, object, place, and time. Where's the place? My bedroom. What's the time? Last night. Let's do another one. Ella siguió las instrucciones en clase esta mañana. Ella siguió las instrucciones en clase esta mañana. I'll give you a second. 1, 2, 3. She followed the instructions in class this morning. Place and time. She followed the instructions in class this morning. So you have to ask, what did she follow? Where and when? Where and when? That's the order. Cambiamos el orden de las actividades en la reunión ayer. Cambiamos el orden de las actividades en la reunión ayer. We changed the order of the activities in the meeting yesterday. So, what is the verb? Changed. What is the object? The order of activities. Where? No. Yes, where in the meeting, and when? Yesterday. All right? So we changed the order of activities in the meeting yesterday. All right, and one more. Elegí mi prioridad principal en casa antes de estudiar. Elegí mi prioridad principal en casa antes de estudiar. So, are you ready? I chose my main priority at home before studying. I chose my main priority. At home, before studying. All right. What did she do? She chose. What did she choose? Her main priority. That's the object. Where? At home. When? Before studying. All right. So those are the little questions you have to ask yourself to make sure you're following the right order. All right. Let's move on to a different kind of exercise. And what we're going to do now is correct the mistake. You have to correct the mistake, meaning the order of this sentence. All right. So listen carefully. I prepared this morning my notes. I prepared this morning my notes. Is this correct? No, it isn't. Why not? Because remember, the object receives the action. So is this order correct? I prepared this morning my notes. No, it's not. Because morning cannot receive the action. What receives the action here? What did you do? I prepared what? My notes. And we have no place, but we do have time. Morning. I prepared my notes this morning. All right, how about this one? We discussed after lunch the main priority. We discussed after lunch the main priority. Also, same thing, same mistake. We discussed the main priority after lunch. There's no place, but there is time, so we use that. We discussed the main priority, that's the object, after lunch, that is the time. And how about another one? He changed in the document the order. He changed in the document the order. Is this correct? No, it's not. He changed the order in the document. He changed the order in the document. All right. What did he change? The order. Where in the document? All right, very good. And let's do one more. They booked on Friday a slot for the airport. They booked on Friday a slot for the appointment, not the airport. I just said airport because I just came back from the airport this morning. And, anyway, they booked on Friday a slot for the appointment. So what is wrong here? What is wrong with this sentence? Let's see. The right order would be they booked a slot for the appointment on Friday. So what is the verb? What's the action? Booked a slot, right? For what? For the appointment. When? On Friday. All right? Very good. Okay. So now, let's move on from that to adding the place and time in the correct order. So I'll give you the first part of the sentence, and you have to add a place and a time. All right? So if I say to you, I prepared the presentation. I prepared the presentation. Now you have to add a place and time. What would you say? I would say, I prepared the presentation at home last night, right? At home is where, and when is last night. Where and when. How about this one? She followed the plan. She followed the plan. What would you say? If I gave you a place, let's say the library, and you could choose a time reference. She followed the plan in the library after class. All right, very good. She followed the plan in the library after class. How about another one? I will give you the first part of the sentence. We chose the next step. We chose the next step. And that is it for today. That's an important thing to remember, that we keep the verb and object together. All right? Always remember that. So we talked about word order, order in life, order in routines, and also order in English. Remember what I told you. Verb and object together. Then we can add place and time. All right? That's it for today. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you tomorrow.
Estás escuchando Vaughan Radio.
¿Tus hijos necesitan dar un salto de inglés este verano? ¿Tienen planes en el extranjero o simplemente quieren ganar confianza? Apúntales a nuestras clases particulares one-to-one. Con nuestras clases one-to-one ganarán confianza en inglés para alcanzar nuevas oportunidades. El inglés abre puertas y con Vaughan aprenderán inglés para vivir sus sueños. No esperes más y entra en grupovaughan.com e infórmate.
Hello, friends. It's that time of year again as we celebrate the Canada Day Pancake Breakfast in support of the Asociación Española contra el Cáncer. With the support of Vaughan Radio, we once again welcome you to join us for breakfast on Sunday, July 5th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Toast Tap Room Malasaña, Calle San Vicente Ferrer 33 in Madrid. Enjoy authentic Canadian-style pancakes and maple syrup, with a portion of each breakfast sold being donated to the Asociación Española contra el Cáncer, along with all the funds from our prize raffle, Nuestra Rifa. This year we have great prizes from Air Canada, Taste of America, Maltman Brewing, and more. Join us for a great time in support of a great cause at the 8th Annual Canada Day Pancake Breakfast, Sunday, July 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Toast Tap Room Malasaña. I hope to see you there, and happy Canada Day.
Vaughan revoluciona el aprendizaje de idiomas con Speak Pro, la inteligencia artificial diseñada para mejorar tu inglés. Pronunciación precisa, fluidez y confianza lleva tu inglés al siguiente nivel. Pruébalo gratis hoy en speakpro.es. Tu inglés está a punto de cambiar para siempre.
Mommy, Daddy, these summer English books are so much fun.
¿Quieres que este verano tus hijos repasen inglés de forma divertida? Tenemos justo lo que necesitas. Llega Summer English. Listen, practice, learn. La nueva colección de cuadernos de Vaughan para niños de primero a sexto de primaria. Con juegos, gramática, vocabulario, audios y actividades online. Todo al más puro estilo Vaughan. Ya disponibles en vaughantienda.com y librerías seleccionadas. Este verano, aprender inglés será su plan favorito.
Este verano, ¿quieres que tus hijos se diviertan, vivan 1000 aventuras y además ganen fluidez en inglés, rodeados de naturaleza y con los mejores monitores angloparlantes Vaughan? Tráelos a nuestro Vaughan Summer Camps. Hay 4 ubicaciones diferentes para que elijas tu mejor opción. Con cabañas, actividades acuáticas, multiaventura, nuevos amigos y entornos increíbles donde aprenderán a resolver situaciones cotidianas en inglés sin darse cuenta. Más de